I'm Matt Simpson from the ACLU of Texas. Appreciate the chance to talk to y'all. I wanted to start, I guess, with kind of a rephrasing of something that Chair Whitmire and others in this committee say quite often, and that is that we want to lock away the people we're scared of and figure out how to deal with the people we're mad at. And I think that the bottom line for me with this hearing is it's possible our policies related to solitary confinement, ADSEG, and all the other ways that we isolate people are actually taking the folks that we're just mad at and turning them into people we're scared of. And I think that that's part of what we're talking about when we talk about this flat release situation. So one thing I want to talk about quickly is the way that Mississippi has dealt with their ADSEG population. They've gone from roughly 1,000 people in ADSEG to down now, most recently I saw 150 people in ADSEG. Obviously that would be something like going from 8,000 down to whatever, 1,000 or maybe even less than that. And that's obviously going to represent some savings, but it also represents a large number of people whose mental health statuses we don't have to worry about quite as much. I think that it's well proven that being in isolation does impact mental health of just about anybody, particularly youth and particularly those with mental health issues to begin with. So what happened in Mississippi is that over time, in about 2003, the commissioner of the state system looked at their system, saw that they had about 1,000 people in ADSEG, saw that there was a lot of issues with that population, and said, what can we do to change it? So they made some pretty specific changes. And really, to back up a little bit, just from the perspective of how we all know that a 6x9 cell would be something that would be a lot to deal with as individuals. That's also what was said to the commissioner by folks in the Mississippi system. They said, we don't have anything left to lose. We're already in solitary, so we have no incentive to act in a way that we're supposed to. We can just do whatever because we're already at the bottom. And in some ways, that maybe parallels death penalty, death row here, and other situations. So to remedy this situation, to reduce the number of people in the Mississippi system that are in ADSEG, they developed a classification system. And it used objective criteria. It involved the offender, and it involved face-to-face reviews. This classification and review system allowed people to get out of ADSEG effectively. I mean, I would note that we have 8,000 plus people in ADSEG, and I think about 77 were released or were actually finished the grad program. So we're in a matter of scale where we're not addressing the number of people we need to get out of ADSEG. I mean, even the number of people that are being flat released is a small percentage. There's a lot of people just in ADSEG unable to get out there for the duration of their sentences. So first, the classification model was changed, maybe dramatically. Then there were graduated incentives put in place. So you would be moved from a most restrictive ADSEG to something less restrictive. So maybe, time in the yard with other individuals or television or phone privileges, et cetera. And those incentives were graduated, so it encouraged people to move from the most restrictive, isolation to a less restrictive situation. And then finally, and really probably most important kind of for our discussion, programming was initiated, right? And so before people were released, they were given drug counseling, they were given life skills, anger management programs, and all the things that really have sort of already been brought up. So what we saw in Mississippi is a $5.6 million savings per year, a massive reduction in folks in ADSEG, and generally, actually, a reduction in violence within the system. There was no uptick for sure. If anything, it stayed the same.
All right, that's almost 4 minutes. Any questions?
Okay.
Yeah, just a real brief on that,
Sure.
Madam
Yes,
Chair. I guess Mississippi is a small state compared to Texas.
Sure.
And I guess how do you deal with some of the gang leaders, the Mexican mafia, and you're never going to be able to get them to comply with any rules or rehabilitate them. I mean, they're just out there organizing and
Sure. I mean, I think the place to start is to say, are there people that shouldn't be in ADSEG, and are there people, I think we all know there's going to be individuals that should be, right? What you just described is someone that's going to be in ADSEG in our system, right? I mean, if you're a gang leader, you can't be trusted to communicate with other people, we've got to figure out some kind of isolation setting. That's the most extreme example. I think what this state needs, and one way to get there, I think what we need is a better classification system, a better way of determining who should be in ADSEG. and programming once you're there so that people can actually eventually get out. One way to get there would be to have somebody from the outside just come in and look at our ADSEG classification system. We have third-party experts come in and look at Board of Pardons and Paroles. That was recently done in terms of parole guidelines and other questions. I think doing something like that with TDCJ and just offering another set of eyes would be one way to start looking at, do we have just the gang leaders in ADSEG, or is it individuals that are less dangerous than that as well?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Simpson?